Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my unfiltered diary. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm an independent girl, as you know, in my early 20s. On this podcast, I love to share my very best advice, my personal journey, some life experiences, and some juicy stories. Each episode is a little different. To be honest, the last couple of episodes, I've just been sharing some very good topics and also some very exciting journey that my partner's going through as well. He is a music producer. He's an artist. So I have noticed, because someone actually commented on it on my Instagram, that I do share a lot of his success on here, but it's an exciting time. It's new, and why not share both of it? Why not? How are you doing today? Today, it is Bank Holiday Monday on the day of recording this. It's Easter weekend. I've had a very, very I've had a very, very busy weekend. I've got a lot to share. The sun has been out. We're all excited. We're all so happy for these past 4 days. I'm just saying. And also, I've got some reminders to speak about. I haven't thought of a very thorough topic today, so I'm just going to tell you about my week, tell you some home truths, and share some things that you're going to want to hear. Might upset ya. Who knows? I'm just being me. Alright? This week, I have gone for a roller coaster of emotions. Today, I'm feeling very positive because I thought, why don't I try and record the episode during the day when I'm not working, so I don't feel like I have to say I'm tired every day. Because by the time I get to recording an episode in the evenings after work, I am tired. So I'm like, how am I feeling? Tired. Oh, it's a bit boring, isn't it? So I thought I'd try and record earlier on. I was actually going to arrange for some guests to be on the show this weekend. However, I don't know how I completely forgot about this, but I didn't have an adapter for the other mic. So there's like this little box. I don't know the technicalities and the name of the equipment, but my partner does. And he said, you need an adapter for this box. And I also haven't quite figured out how I'm going to use two completely different mics, where only one of them connects to the box and one of them connects to the laptop. So I don't know, but I guess I'll figure that out. At least I now know, and I didn't make any solid plans. Because I don't like letting people down. That's just me. A little bit of a people pleaser. So today I went out for breakfast with my partner. The house is trashed. I don't know how. So I think it was like Thursday night or Friday. We did a complete blitz of the place because we weren't going to be around most of the weekend, and we like to tidy up before the weekend so that when we come back after a show and we're all tired, at least we don't have to tidy up. We come back and we were like, what the fuck is this? So that wasn't great, but Alex definitely just tried to bribe me with money to do the washing up, but we have an agreement. I do the clothes washing and he does washing up. So he was like, I'll give you £30 to do it. I was like, make it 50 and I'll do it. For £50, I would do the washing up. 30, not quite. Not so much. So I won that argument. So he's gone to go make some music. And then when he comes back, after his day of work, I'm getting him to do the washing up. Yeah. And that's just the compromises we have in our relationship. He does the job I hate and I do the job he hates. Because sometimes I used to be like, oh, babe, can you help me just hang out the washing? And he just hates it so much. But I can't really say anything because I absolutely detest washing up. Like if the flat was big enough, I would have a dishwasher, but we don't. We don't have a house big enough. And I don't want to move house anytime soon. It's actually getting really close to my tenancy renewal. And I get really anxious. I always think like, oh, I don't want to stress about that moving out stuff all over again. I don't want to try and find a new tenancy, and also I love where I live next door to my best friend. The house is small enough that we can keep on top of the cleaning because I hate cleaning, and yeah, I don't want to move yet. And the only reason that I would move if I had an option and I had a savings that are currently non-existent, I'd get a mortgage. So I don't want to do any of that until I get a mortgage, because I highly doubt I'm going to find a property that fits my criteria, and I can't quite bring my best friend to the new property. So currently it doesn't meet my criteria, actually. So that's why I'm staying here. So I had to email my landlord today and I said, I know it's a bit over 2 months. I mean, a bit over a month. I think it's nearly just under 2 months until the renewal, like till the date of the end of the tenancy. And they only tend to give you like 4 weeks to be like, oh, your tenancy's not being renewed, just as a reminder. So I thought I would ask in advance. I've done it for the last like 2 or 3 years. I can't remember how long I've lived here now, but I think it's 2 or 3 years. And they've been fine with it so far. I just get really anxious about it. Like the first year, they were like, yeah, it's fine. And the second year was in pandemic. And I'm like, come on, be on my side here. And they were fine with it. But like now we're not in the pandemic. And obviously everything's rising in price. I just really, really hope that doesn't affect it. So let's manifest that. Positive vibes, everyone. Just please let the tenancy renew. Thank you very much. That's not actually how you manifest. It's meant to be like an affirmation. You're like, the tenancy will renew and I will have exactly what I want. I want the tenancy to continue renewing until I say otherwise. And you just got to believe it and it works. Yeah. So that's my advice on trying to manifest stuff. You got to believe it. You got to speak it into existence and the energy will work in your favour. Apparently so. Speaking of which, I actually, when I learnt about manifestations and the law of attraction, I read this book called The Secret and I watched the movie too. I listened to the book audio before I even bought the book because everyone told me about it and I was like, well, actually, first of all, I used to work in the vape shop and a customer came in and he actually said to me, like, it was a customer that had been around for a while, like I'd known and served day-to-day basis for a long time, and he was like, oh, like all this stuff had gone on in his life, and he said, and then I found the law of attraction and everything's just been getting much better and much more positive. And I was like, oh, what is that? And he told me about it. So I listened to the 4 to 6 hour audio. I can't remember how long it was. And now I try and incorporate it in my life. So whenever my partner says something like, oh, that's going to go wrong, I'm like, no, it's not. It's going to go right. Speak it into existence, you know? This, you get what you want if you speak it into existence. You just have to believe it. And it's kind of like, I don't know, being a boss bitch. You just have to have that confidence. You just have to look at people and think, I don't worry about what they're thinking. I just care about myself. And it's not like a negatively selfish thing. It's very, very positive. Like you can just go about your day-to-day life and think, this is my world and it revolves around me. And people think, oh my God, she's one of them. No. You don't have to like not care about others at all. You just don't have to, you know, be obsessed with the way they think. Like I used to be so self-critical and so insecure about what other people thought. And I don't exactly know at what pinpoint it was that I just stopped caring. But I think it began with actually saying, oh, I don't really care what people think. I used to like try and put loads of makeup on. I used to try and wear like certain things. I used to try and have a certain style when really I'm not very stylish. I don't give a fuck about makeup. Like honestly, I don't really care about my appearance that much. Where I used to be so obsessed with it. And I think I became very comfortable a long time ago with just the way I am. Especially when I smoked loads of weed, I used to just be like, this is the way I am and it works. Why would I change it? And you can see like pros and cons in that. Like you can believe, oh, that you still have things you need to improve on. Like obviously, but these things don't concern other people. Like you don't have to completely change your personality to compromise with someone. Like you only really need to change your behaviour to certain things if you're having conflict with someone that you care about. So for example, if me and my partner fell out and had an argument about something, it would be down to our behaviour as to whether each other have understood each other, not necessarily down to our personalities. Like you don't completely change who you are for another person. And if you do, you're not going to be happy in the long run because you'll always run back to your roots. Like your morals tend to stay the same. Like your truth and what you believe in doesn't change. What you've gone through doesn't change. But how you act around certain people and how you express how you feel might become slightly different around different people because you're more conscious and you care about what a certain particular person feels, not necessarily what they think, if that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. It made sense to me though. Okay. Anyway, you shouldn't have to feel pressured to fully understand yourself in order to move forward. What I mean by that is, in this like society, this current society, everyone's becoming like self-aware of who they are, their toxic traits, their behaviour, their personalities, the way they act around other people. But people put this insane amount of pressure on, like, I'm healing, I'm learning, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm self-aware. Like, you don't have to know everything about yourself. Like, you're constantly changing, and you shouldn't have to feel like you have to make other people happy and then criticize yourself because you're like, oh my god, I'm doing that thing again. Like, no, you are learning, you're aware of it, and that's okay, but you don't have to change overnight. You don't have to change the way you're behaving straight away. Like, how are you supposed to do that? It's almost impossible. Like, you're not a robot. You can't just program yourself and be like, I'm going to act like this now. Like, you just have to start speaking it into existence, and in situations where you're the most comfortable, you can try and be that, like, act that certain way, and then you can be like, okay, this is how I felt in that situation. If you feel better about the way you acted, then that's fine, continue doing it. But if you didn't, don't feel like you have to change that behaviour. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So on Thursday night, my partner and my best friend, so my next door neighbour, we went over to the pub across the road, and they've actually changed now. They've completely changed from the pub they once was, and now they're like some posh cocktail restaurant thing. So it's very weird, because we spent many nights in there getting trolleyed, and now I feel like it's almost inappropriate to do so. Like, I felt underdressed going in there. But anyway, we went in there for some cocktails, and I don't know about you guys, but I have never experienced acid reflux before. I think that's what it was anyway. So I had my first cocktail and I was like, oh, that's all right. That was a nice one. It wasn't as colourful as I expected. Cocktails are always colourful. So I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I was like, I'll just go with what I know. I ordered a porn star martini because we love it. It was really funny because Alex was like, how can I just go up to the bar and ask for a porn star? Like, that's just, no, I can't ask for that. I was like, that's what it's called though. What else do we call it? And then I thought, oh, you can't actually call it like a passion fruit martini, but it's just not the same word, you know? It's not what we call it. So anyway, I got one of those. It took about half an hour to turn up. And I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it was so alcoholic or just the passion fruit was just so acidic. I really don't know. But I just got this insane burning sensation going through my whole throat. And yeah, it was not comfortable. Completely put me off drinking the whole night. So, like, him and my best friend just basically carried on drinking. I came home and I was in just tons of pain. It was hurting. And it, like, started with, you know when you're, like, you feel hungry and you feel really sick? Like, I thought I just felt really hungry sick. Turns out I was so wrong. I just kept feeling like I was going to throw up because this acid was going up my throat and it was just burning so bad. And my partner was like, is it heartburn? And I was like, no, it doesn't feel that same. Like, I feel in so much pain right now. And then Evie come to the rescue. She come and got this, I think it was Gaviscon in like a liquid form. Chucked a bit in my throat. Within about 10 minutes I felt fine. I was like, oh great, I can sleep now. So those two just had their night. I got the best nap of my life on the sofa. Woke up at 4 a.m. Evie had just gone home. And then we went to bed. I was like, lovely stuff. Friday, what did we do Friday? So we were meant to go to the Salt Cave. I don't know if anybody knows what a salt cave is, but it's meant to be one of the best remedies for asthma, eczema, hay fever, skin conditions, allergies, like all sorts of things to do with like breathing and stuff like that. It's meant to be almost like a natural remedy, like a salt treatment. And I mean, it makes sense to me because whenever I go abroad or I go to the beach, because the air has so much salt in it from the sea, I just feel so much healthier. Like, my hay fever doesn't really affect me, my asthma's much better, and my skin tends to clear up, especially on holiday, because you're around there for like more than one day. But then it turns out I booked it for next weekend, not this weekend. What an idiot. And yeah, my partner's not here this weekend. He's going to Austria, his first international show, which is very, very exciting. So instead, I was a bit bummed out that we couldn't do that. I was like, oh, I've booked it for the wrong day. And he was like, well, why don't we go shopping today? My eyes like lit up. I was like, yeah, shopping. I fucking love shopping. I'm the most impulsive shopper ever. So having my partner there is really good because I sort of like look at him and he's like, do you need it? Are you going to wear that? So yeah, it does me good. And I know that he's not like a pushy person. Like, I don't know if anybody else has ever gone shopping with their boyfriend before, but most of them hate it. And most of them just don't like waiting around and get really impatient and stressed and moody, blah, blah, blah. But he tends to be like quite calm about it, you know? He just lets me do my thing, and because he doesn't like put this like burden on me, I just naturally don't feel pressured, so I don't get stressed and I don't keep looking, you know? Like, I've seen a couple of things and then I'm out, in and out, in and out. Do you know what I mean? So he got himself a nice few bits. I got myself quite a few nice bits. He actually got me these really cute shorts. He was like, oh my God, these. I was like, oh. If you've got me on TikTok, it's jvicky98, so JAIVICKY98. Go follow me on TikTok, because I just make a bunch of hilarious cringy videos, but one of them actually has me in my new shorts and I am obsessed with them. They are the best summer shorts ever. Like, they're not even bum shorts, and I used to like hate bum shorts. I mean, it's not like I hate them, but I just really don't like them. Like, I don't see the point, because when you sit down, it's really uncomfortable. Like, they're nice when you're stood up and you're walking around, but sitting down, your bum's going to get cold, no? You know what I mean? Like, when your legs get cold, it's not the same, but your bum, why do you want your bum to get cold? Like, they look nice, yeah, but are they practical? Are they comfy? I don't think they are. I don't. They give me a massive wedgie, and it's just, you've got to constantly pick it out. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see you accidentally flash a flap. You know what I mean? No one wants to see it. So, bum shorts are just not for me, okay? If you pull them off and you find them comfy, you have great genetics. Your body is shaped in a perfect way, and I'm jealous of you. Moving on. So, we did that, and we had a really nice Nando's. And we don't usually go Nando's because we don't actually rate it that much. Like, it's very overrated, and the food's not 10/10, you know? It's like 5/10. But we went, and it was pretty nice. Must admit, it was really, really good. I would rate it 8 out of 10. So, and it was been such a sunny day, so we went for a nice walk along the canal and Willen Lake. And it was just really, really nice day. It was like a date day. And then when we come home, we got a takeaway with my best friend. Oh my God, that scared the life out of me. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. On Saturday, Alex had his biggest show yet. So he performed at Tobacco Dock in London. So we get all the way down to London, we check into the hotel. He got us like an executive room. He even arranged for me to have an Easter egg there. What a fucking diamond. He does the sweetest things to surprise me sometimes. I don't, at this point, I don't know how to appreciate it. Like, maybe he just wants a blowjob. I don't know. Like, surely there's got to be a way I can thank someone for these things, because I don't have the money to surprise him with, like, great things, you know? Not until my loan's paid off. To be fair, I actually looked at my loan today, and I only have about £4,500 left to pay, plus my credit card. So I think within about a year, as long as I'm sensible with my credit card, I could probably pay them both off. So, I mean, I've paid off double that in the past year. So, it's on track. I'm doing well. I'm being smart, I'm being savvy. Just as long as these petrol and electricity companies don't keep rising. Like, some of us want to be middle class one day. I don't want to keep being, like, poor, okay? Like, I got myself to a really good position, and then I only found out the other day by doing a bit of research online that even though I thought I was earning, like, such a sick wage and I was financially comfortable and all that. Did I say that right? Comfortable. But yeah, I googled it and it turns out I wasn't even on average wage. So the average annual income for like last year or the year before was like 30 grand. I was like, what the fuck? How is that average? Like, if it's average, why can't I go and get this? Like, the average person. And then this year, it's even higher. And I'm like, what? Where are you people getting these jobs? And I just know, including myself, so many people are literally earning so much less than they deserve because their employers won't pay them more. You tight bastards. Just pay people more. Like, what the fuck? Like, you want to live a comfortable life. You want your employees to be happy. So why don't you look after them? It's just common fucking sense. Like, I understand if you go into, like, a minimum wage job and they advertise it as minimum wage, you kind of know that you're going to get minimum wage. But you go into a job thinking, I can grow, I can do better, and it's not going to stay on that wage forever. Like, at least you have an incentive to work hard, but then they don't even give it to you. Just fucking leave. If you're not setting that boundary, like, I'm here to earn a better potential, I'm here to grow on the corporate ladder, then, well, just fucking leave. Like, I asked in my previous job about 6,000 times, can I have a pay rise if I'm taking on more work? Or I'd worked there for like, within 3 years, I didn't get a pay rise, right? And I'm like, yes, I know there was a pandemic in the middle, blah, blah, blah. It affected everybody. Stop being a tight ass and just pay me more. Nope. They were like, you're not being grateful that you've got a job and all this. Like, in my opinion, that's kind of gaslighting, is it not? Or am I just being an extreme person right now? I don't know. But yeah, I left a really good job that just stopped giving me more money. And the thing is the job was great, and I did tend to get most of the things I want except a pay rise, and except from work being delegated. I wasn't able to delegate jobs because that was just my role. Everyone passed it on to me, and I was fine with that if I was getting more money, but I wasn't. So after 3 years of asking, you know, someone says no so many times, you've already taught them that you are going to be happy with earning less money. Like, sometimes you just have to threaten to leave. And if they let you leave then. Get something else. Build a relationship with somebody else in that industry. So then you have a backup for for later on in life. I mean, personally, I don't want to ever work in a vape company again, just because I'm over it. Like, it was fun while it lasted. I learnt a ton. I've bettered myself. Like, I'm smarter with things. I understand businesses more. However, vaping is just boring. Like, I just want to vape as a habit. I don't want to do it as a job. You know what I mean? I quit smoking from vaping. So I'm just talking about a bunch of fucking shit with no structure today. I'm sorry, everyone. I am sorry. What did I do yesterday? Me and Alex acted like really poor people yesterday, like in the afternoon. So before we left London, we were fine. We were in the hotel. We avoided checking out until they blew the phone up. I was like, oh, babe, think we gotta go. I think people don't understand that DJs come in at like 5-6 o'clock in the morning, especially if they have a set at like 3-4 in the morning. Some sets are at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, they have to do an hour. So imagine you can't check into a hotel until God knows what time. Like, some nights Alex does 2 shows, so he can't check in until after his last set. Like, one time someone was like, you can't check in at this time. Check-in finished at midnight. And I'm like, well, what did you expect? He's working, he had 2 shows. Like, it's paid for. You can't not give us what we paid for. You're here, are you not? You're at the front desk. Obviously, I worded it in a little bit of a politer way, but sometimes you just have to be really assertive. Like, my partner was stressed. He was tired. He just wanted to go to bed. And he was just like, oh, okay, we'll just find something else. And I'm just like, no fucking way. We're having this room. You've paid for it, or it's been paid for. Like, come on. The guy tried to argue with us. We gave him a reference number. We gave him the names of the people who booked it. And then he was just like, gave us a key. And I'm like, well, why argue with us if you know the booking was valid? He was like, well, it didn't have your name on it. Well, we have the reference number. Obviously, someone else booked it because that's not his job. His job is to do the performance, not book his hotel. Fucking hell. Anyway, I'm acting like a diva. It's not even my problem. But still, it annoys me that you can't, like, with these hotels, you can just tell them, like, I'm a fucking doing this for an event. Like, surely they would have some rooms that let you check out at, like, 6 p.m, you know? Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but, like, 3 or 4 o'clock. Not fucking 11, 10 a.m. That's ridiculous. Even 12 a.m. is a bit much. Because it's still, you got to rush to get out. Just fuck that. No. But yeah, anyway, the hotel we stayed in was lovely. I was just giving an example of previous hotels. We went for this really, really nice breakfast in this tiny little restaurant in London. There was like, the buildings in London are really weird. They look really cramped together. You'll see a single column of windows, and that's just like one shop with a door at the bottom. And you go up the stairs like twice. And there was this really nice breakfast place. So we went there, had the best smoothies, best breakfast. I don't even know what it was my partner had. It looked like a kebab on chips. It wasn't, but I don't know what the fuck that was. But it was really, really nice. And then when we come home, we were just so tired. He came to bed, and I just watched The Ultimatum. I don't know if you've seen that. Right, let's talk about it, actually. So, there's this new series on Netflix called The Ultimatum. Marry Me or Move On. Okay? An ultimatum is where you give someone, like, say, look, if you're not going to give this to me, I'm going to leave, or I'm going to do this. Like, it's like giving someone that choice. And I think an ultimatum can be quite a tough thing to do, because these people all want to get married and have kids and do whatever, but the other person's not ready. But I think, like, when you meet someone, if you have these conversations and have these understandings with them, you won't have to create ultimatums, you know? Like, if you're both in the position where you can and you're ready, then why are you not? It's a bit more understandable. But you can't push both one person when you're ready, because people do not grow in life at the same pace. Like, you've got to be patient with another person. And all of these people are like the same age as me, like in their early 20s. Some of them, I think they're all like 26 maybe. So they're all very young people. They're quite clearly minted, because none of them seem to give a fuck about a lot of things. And basically, they just had to do 2 trial marriages. So they went on this show, and it basically looked like a bunch of people that were happy with their partners cheating. Like, it literally made no sense to me. But it was so fucking juicy. It was so juicy. So you, like, go on the show, and you're like, I gave my partner this ultimatum. We're going to mingle with other people, and we're going to meet other people and go on dates with these people that have been agreed upon, or agreed to, whatever the right word is. And they say, okay, so you go on a date, and if you feel like that person fills in the qualities and is suited for you, you go and live with them for 3 weeks and have a trial marriage. It's like agreed cheating, like consensual cheating, but whatever. So these people do this, and there was just like some weird behaviour going on, like so crazy. And like some people had like gone to a bar and met other girls, and had like, which the partners would not agree to, and then like someone proposed, and I thought, oh, okay, that's fair enough, even though, you know, the people that got proposed to before they had the trial marriages, it was like, well, you just don't want your partner to be with someone else, and obviously you don't want your partner to be with someone else, but you agreed to come on this show. Like, you gave them the ultimatum. Your problems are not resolved. So what? You're going to get married and not solve your problems? Ha ha ha, hilarious. Yeah, no, that's just not the one. I think some ultimatums are like understandable. Like, if you need to like do something to work on yourself, you should do that. If you want to be in like a more financial stable position, you should do that. I don't think telling someone, I want to get married and have kids within this year, that's just a bit much. Like, they're 2 big things. You don't want to get married and have kids in the same year, personally. Like, I definitely don't want to do that. But that's a lot. That's a very intense thing to do in your early 20s. Like, I don't really want to get married. Me and my partner were talking about this. We said, like, if we were going to get married, we'd do it abroad. Because it wouldn't be like we'd be legally married here, but who cares? Like, a marriage is between the 2 people involved. Like, it's not really involving anybody else. Like, if you want to have a ceremony and that, just do it abroad where it's really cheap and you're in a hot, sunny place. It's really nice. And the people that love you and care about you, if you want them there, just tell them, in 2 years we're going to be doing a marriage here, save up and get a flight. Like, weddings are so expensive. Like, why don't you just invest in a property instead? It just makes no sense to me. But I understand, like, if people want to have kids and stuff, it's just got to be like a thought out process. Like, most people don't even plan to have kids, they just end up with them. I'm just saying. I don't really know many people that have planned to have kids and just had them. Most people I know have not planned to have kids and they're happy they have them afterwards, but they're like, oh, you weren't planned though. You know? I don't know. I think when you plan too much, you're more upset when it doesn't go your way. So you should just let things be the way they are. Everything happens for a reason and all that jazz. So today's topic of the day, it's going to be a very spontaneous topic. I haven't got a name for it yet. But I'm actually going to talk about my family, just because there's just something I need to get off my chest, and I just think having the opinions of other people wouldn't hurt. Or just like, if you feel like you've been in this position or feel a bit stuck, I am all here for it. So, as I've gone into vague detail before, like in the beginning episodes, of the relationship me and my mum have, she kicked me out when I was, doesn't really matter when, she kicked me out, and it was quite a tough time. Like, there was a lot of elements involved as to why she kicked me out, and it wasn't like a logical explanation or anything. And a lot of the similar things are happening to my sister right now. So my sister last week, she was quite upset and she said, Mum keeps trying to charge me for more rent. And I've said to her, like, Mum shouldn't be charging you for more rent. It doesn't really, like, she's spending all this money on other things that are materialistic, and I just don't think it's very fair for her to charge my siblings more rent, especially after what happened with me and her. Like, it took a very long time for our relationship to build again, and because of what went down and what happened with us, I have never had a strong relationship with my mum since. Like, I go and visit every so often, but I try and keep my distance. Like, there's just a very toxic element of our relationship that just won't ever go away, and I'm happier keeping my distance. Like, I love my family, I love my mum, but this is my choice, and I feel like maybe my mum will have a better relationship with my siblings if she's learnt what's happened with us, like, just to avoid making those same mistakes again, because our relationship is so damaged. But no, doesn't really sound like much has changed. My mum's still saying to my sister, well, if you're not going to pay me what you owe me, then move out. And it's just always about money. Like, it's never anything about anything else. And, like, the other elements that really upset me is things like my sister was in a very similar position to what I was at the time. So she was learning to drive, she was trying to get a car, she was trying to pass her test, she's trying to do things better for herself. If my mum said to her not long ago, if you're not happy in your job, leave. Well, how's that going to be the case if you're going to kick her out? Like, what the fuck? Just things like that really winding me up at the minute, and I just feel like that's just something I want to talk about today. So, my mum will be like, well, do your own food shop. So, it's frustrating, but fine. And she's like, look after your own dog, which, fair enough, fine. Because she's at work all day, so my sister can't attend to her dog 24/7. But, my mum agreed to these things. She said, get a dog and I'll look after you and I won't make these mistakes I made before. But she's still falling out with my sisters about it. And the saddest part about it is that my youngest sister actually felt worried that my mum would kick her out too, just because they had an argument. I'm just like, why is my young 15-year-old sister, who is trying to do her exams, scared that my mum is going to kick her out? Like, what the fuck? Like, I know that feeling. I was in that position and I thought my mum would have learned by now. Like, this is what you did to me, this is the positions you put me in, and obviously fucking not. Like, it really, really upsets me that she just hasn't learned from these things. And I confronted my mum about this, and she tried to, like, defend her point, and I was just like, what are you even talking about? Like, you can't defend your point in that way. I think she said something like, obviously I'm not going to read word for word the texts, because even talking about it is a kind of invasion of someone's privacy, but this involves me because I got involved. So my mum said something like, they only run to you to cause more shit between us. They know you'll bite. I've purposely kept my mouth shut about so many things, and it's okay for you to all constantly put me down. I'm only trying my best. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're the parent, you signed up to do these things. You can't sit here and say that my siblings come and talk to me because they know I'll defend them. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that? Like, my sisters come to me because they see me as a parent role too. They come to me because they see me as an adult. They see me as someone who, like, has obviously got out of a toxic situation and has built her life for herself. So what the fuck is so wrong with them trying to speak to their sister who they trust and they, like, value their opinion of? Half the time they don't value my opinion because they know I'm an extreme person. I don't really care about what people think anymore. So I will just say it as it is. And sometimes they're like, oh, that's a bit much. But with things that relate to our, like, my mum and our family, they do come to me because I'm the oldest, because I had to go through all this shit on a very intense scale. And now that my mum's sort of backtracking what she's learnt from our relationship, she's just sort of, like, still projecting things on my sisters. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, when we were younger, and my mum kicked me out, and I was just like, if you're not financially in a better position because your kids are in school, your kids are all adults now, yeah? So when she kicked me out, me and my sister were adults. The other one didn't live with her. The youngest one, she was probably about 11 or 12, I think, maybe 13 when I moved out. Like, that sort of age. So yeah, fair enough. She probably couldn't go to work because she looked out for my youngest sister. And my youngest sister wasn't as mature at that age as I was, because no kid should be. They should be kids. They should be able to go to school and come back and have things provided for them. Normal. Now that my sisters go to work and provide for themselves, even my sister thinks that my mum's going to try and charge her rent, and she's 15, has a job. I'm like, what? Why is she paying rent at that age? Like, I was paying rent at 16. My other sister didn't have a job till she was, like, 18. So it was like, okay, well, my mum's not going to charge her rent till she gets a job. Makes sense. Very frustrating, but it makes sense. I think that's better. That's something that my mum has, been the better person about and learned from, and I thought, yeah, good. I think that's the way it should be, But my other sister is worried about all these things because she's the youngest. She's watched it happen to all of us. And I'm like, why is my youngest sister worrying about things that she should not be worrying about? She should be, like, it's a horrible thing to say, but she should be worrying about, like, her education and her school and what she wants to do with her life. Like, realistically, you shouldn't have a plan of what you're doing for the rest of your life. You should have an idea, you should have a goal, you should be aiming for it, but you shouldn't be so, like, obsessed with, so scared about it. You should feel like, well, at least my mum will look after me. At least my mum will be there for me. And the fact that my sister's worrying about putting a roof over her head, whether she's going to have to be able. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I speak way too fucking fast when I'm getting mad. And whether she's worrying about whether she has to get a different job so she can actually pay and move out and all this stuff. And it just really, really upsets me because I think, well, she's only little. Like, she's young. Like, this is a world where me and my sisters are going to insanely struggle to get a mortgage. Like, unless this housing market crashes, we're all pretty fucked. Unless you're earning over 100k a year. Like, realistically. Like I was saying earlier, I thought I was on a good wage at one point. Now I've learnt about the average wage. I'm like, barely even touching the sides. Like, I was just surviving, and I thought that was me being comfortable. No, I was just surviving. I'm still surviving now. Most of us are out here just surviving. Like, why is this system so fucking corrupt? Do you know what? I am very into some conspiracy theories that I'm just like to add aren't all conspiracies. A lot of them have black and white proof. Anyways, yes, I'm one of them. Anyway, it's called having an open mind and like seeing both points of both sides of the argument. And I recently saw a new perspective of something. I'm really struggling to speak today. That's how I sound. That is how I sound. But yeah, I've heard it for a long time, but I actually learned something today that we could have electricity for free because it could be made by water. Like the energy and stuff like that can be powered by water. It's been proven and it's just never gone ahead. They're just making millions and millions off of us. Great stuff. Not that was hugely relevant, but yeah, you know me. I like to go off different topics than that. But yeah, it's quite upsetting because I've had to like act as a parent for my siblings, and even like helped my mum out sometimes, and it's just like why does nobody talk about that? Like I know it's a normal thing. I've had mutual conversations with people, and I know a lot of other people that have been in that position. I'm like, why does nobody talk about this? Why does nobody talk about that we have to look after our parents when they should be looking after us? I mean, it doesn't really apply to me now because I don't let my mum look after me. But like I've had it so many times where even my own boyfriend has witnessed it, where I've had my siblings or my family call me up and speak to me about the family and what to do. And it's like, I'm all here for it and I'll always be there and I'll always support everybody. But just like, I shouldn't have to, it's not something that should be regular. And sometimes there's like phases in life where it is quite regular, especially when I lived with my family. And it's just crazy because everyone hated my opinion, but now that I've moved out, people want to hear it. It's really interesting. It's really interesting for a show. But yeah, I do find it quite exhausting sometimes because I just want what's best for my sisters because, I will give them everything I've learned and I'll help them out the best I can. But I had a savings, it wasn't a big savings, but it was enough to get me out of the house. And that's what I'm trying to tell my sister right now. Like, no matter what happens, you want to start buying stuff and having savings. You don't want to keep getting, like, cosmetics done. You don't want to be getting your nails done every day. Like, I know you deserve it and you've worked hard for it, but you don't want to be doing that because you'll get into a tough financial situation. Especially with having a dog, you're going to have to pay more to live in a property that's, that they can charge you more rent because they can't charge you a deposit for a pet anymore and stuff like that. It's just really like tough. I love how I said topic of the day and I didn't even give a topic. Oh well, you know me. Sometimes I'm just going to sit here and talk all day. But yeah, it is Easter weekend, everybody. And you know what I've seen on social media? Why is there a pile of presents and a pile of Easter eggs like it's Christmas Day? What the fuck? Like, why is this world so materialistic? I have seen so many people at Christmas do this. And when I was a kid and everything was cheap, it was like, okay, you could do that. Now I'm older. I'm like, why are people still doing that? Like, I don't know if it's just me, and I'm not a parent, so, my opinion on this is pretty invalid, but I believe if I have children, this is how I would be. But you should only really get, like, 1 or 2 presents from Father Christmas, and the rest should be from Mum and Dad, Like, that makes more fucking sense. Like, why is Father Christmas getting you an iPad? That just doesn't make sense. Because then other kids are going to feel like that Father Christmas loves them less. Like, what the hell? What kind of fucked up scenario is that? That's just not right, is it? I mean, I don't really know of my full audience that at the moment, so I don't want to go into depth about, families and Father Christmas and stuff, because what the fuck? It's not my place to do that. But on Easter, do you know what you should be doing? You should buy lots of little cheap Easter eggs and just make a little map for your kid and do an Easter egg hunt. Or just do like a little basket and be like the Easter Bunny's visited and they have like a little tray of chocolate or something, you know? Like, why are people getting, like, I remember when I was a kid and my next door neighbour, they would always ask their mum what they wanted as their Easter present. And I was like to my mum, what the fuck is that? She's like, don't know. Like, what the fuck? Like, even we were like, what the hell? Like, people get presents on Easter? That's a thing? I just never heard of it. What the fuck? But let me tell you something. Tuesday, I'm going to go buy all the Easter eggs that are on sale. Yeah. Because that's just what I do. So if you see any cheap Cadbury's Easter eggs, let me know. They're my favourite. But yeah, sorry about my little blow up a minute ago. That was a bit much. I remember what I was going to talk about today, but I haven't got a ton of research about it. I'm just going to give my own judgment on it. So, topic of the day, let's say, topic, T-O-P-I-C. I'm just going to share some beliefs on suffering with hay fever. So I know there's tons of us that suffer with hay fever, and every single year you can deny it as much as you want, but more and more of my friends and people I know and people I meet are like, this is the first time I'm experiencing hay fever. Years and years ago when I was in school, there wasn't that many of us that did get hay fever. There was probably about 25% maybe, which is quite a lot, but compared to nowadays when I'd say it's closer to like 50% of people, it's a big difference. And I'm going to give you a few hacks and things I've learned and tried, and everybody is very different. So the standard hay fever tablets you get cetirizine hydrochloride or lortidine or something like that, you know, however that's said. One begins with L, one of them's two word. And I used to go to the doctors because the hay fever tablets we used to buy weren't working. So I thought if I go to the doctors, they'll give me a different one. Nope, they still gave me the lortidine ones, and they were so bad. I don't know why I don't react with them, but I feel like they actually make it worse taking those tablets. And the other day, I couldn't find any hay fever tablets anywhere, and I was in Aldi. I said to my partner, can you find any hay fever tablets? I completely forgot to tell him which ones were which. And we were both in the aisle, and he was like, oh, here they are. And I just grabbed them, chucked them in the basket, completely forgot to look because they were the only ones there. And without realising, I took one. I was like, my hay fever's so bad. I couldn't figure out why it was so bad. Like, it gets bad quite often, especially at night. Like, my ears get this intense itch, like there's bugs running up and down it. And I itch it like a fucking dog. Like, I put my finger on my ear and I just itch and itch and itch. Hope, like, where it just, like, pulls your eardrum about. I can't even... It sounds disgusting, but people who know what I mean, the people that get it. And I've also tried loads of nasal sprays because I research online every single year, and I just look, what do celebrities do? These rich people have fucking cures for everything, so surely there's a cure for this, okay? There must be a cure. And everyone was like, the nasal spray. So I tried the nasal spray, and people say try local honey. I don't like honey, but I did try it. Didn't work. And there's got to be something that works. So then I overheard someone talking to me about the salt caves when I was talking about my asthma, and I looked into that and I was like, oh my god, this could help everything I suffer with, like all three things. So hopefully I'm able to go for a consultation and go for an appointment of those, because it's very expensive. I mean, like, one session alone is like £40, so that's not too bad, but like, I'm going to need multiple sessions, so I don't know how bad it's going to be. Like, I don't know how much of a financial burden it's going to cost me. And it's summer as well, so like, if I wasn't paying this loan off, I'd be getting my laser treatment again, because what the fuck, I hate shaving. Like, someone actually said to me this weekend, they were like, oh my god, you shaved your legs? I was like, yeah, I haven't shaved my armpits though. I just hate shaving, especially since, like, for the last year or so, I've got laser. Like, I fucking hate shaving. I just want... Oh, someone's excited outside. Probably gone for an Easter egg hunt with their family. Anyway, there was actually a time... I'm going to come back to the hay fever thing in a minute because I'm going off topic again. There was actually a time when I was a kid and I went to Billing Aquadrome, which is like a camping site, I think, where there's caravans, tents and stuff like that, and there's fairground, a mini golf and all that jazz. And I went there, and I had this real bad accident as a kid. So I was on this fairground ride, and this guy was distracted chatting up some bird, and he turned the machine on instead of off, like, so you have to slow it down and then you press the off button or the stop button, and instead of pressing stop you press start again, and I was like off my seatbelt, but like my hand or leg was tangled or something. Oh no, it was definitely my hand, and my feet fell into the machinery and had like tons of trauma done to it. Like I tore all the muscles on my feet, I couldn't walk or nothing, it was so bad. Like I literally felt paralysed, and they couldn't do anything at the hospital. Like they wouldn't do anything about it. They couldn't. And I don't know, like they said I wasn't going to walk, and then after like a month I started walking again. I just got up in the middle of the night, went for a pee, and I completely forgot I couldn't walk, and I just walked again, so that was good. Where was that story going? I actually don't know where that story was going. Oh my god, so I remember what I was saying now. So anyway, so I had to go to hospital, I had to miss out on the Easter egg hunt, I was crawling around, I got put into a 6-year-old's pushchair. A 6-year-old's pushchair. I was 6 years old and I got put into somebody else's pushchair because I couldn't walk anywhere. I had to make a toddler walk. Yeah, sorry about that, kiddo. But yeah, so I missed out on the only Easter egg hunt I ever got to do, and now I just resent this place. And I used to ask my mum every year, can you do an Easter egg hunt? And she was like, no, it's too expensive. And I used to just be like, but I missed out on something and I still get the pain in my feet now. Like when I get a cramp, all my muscle pops out my foot and it's fucking revolting. Like I can't even explain how disgusting it is. But yeah, anyway, back to the topic. So yeah, I don't know about other people, but my hay fever is fucking insane. So my hay fever to cats is like, I should have like an EpiPen or shove some shit, you know? Like it's fucking dangerous how badly allergic I am to cats. And over the years I've got more and more allergic to dogs, which is so annoying because I fucking love dogs. I love dogs so much, and I'm allergic to like so many more of them now, and I never used to be allergic to that many of them. So fucking frustrating. But the one thing I'm the most allergic to is dust, just because like every time I clean, it's so bad. But hay fever, did you hear me just itch my mouth? Yeah. That's like when my tongue like puts pressure on the back of my mouth. I can't really explain what it is, what I do, but speaking of hay fever, it's making me have a reaction. I just did it again. Okay, so I get this like really intense itching in my ears, like right in by my eardrum. It's so bad. So I clean my ears like every day with cotton buds, which is obviously not going to help. Like your ears should have a little bit of earwax in them at all times. Like they shouldn't be crystal clear all the time. Like the idea is it's protecting your ear and your eardrum. But, you know, it's itchy, so I try and get it out, hoping that that's it. Obviously, when your ears feel really oily and stuff, that's when you should clear it out. But if it doesn't, it just feels itchy, you probably shouldn't clean your ears out so much. And I get this really, like, rashy skin, especially under my chin and my arms and behind my legs and stuff. Like, it makes all my eczema flare up because I itch it so much. My hay fever triggers my asthma so bad. So like I get a really tight chest, I find it hard to breathe. It's a fucking nightmare. And then also, the pollen just is so, I can't even explain it because it comes out of nowhere. Like if I smell cut grass, I'm like, oh shit, here we go again. It's not great. So I've tried the tablets, I've tried the nasal sprays, I try eye drops. Well, after I've itched my eyes, I try eye drops. Doesn't really help much, but it can help the irritation a little, but it doesn't stop me having a reaction. The best thing I have tried is Vaseline. So obviously I will update you if I go to the salt cave what that does. And I won't have the injection because it sets my asthma off. And because I asked for it when I was in school and they were like, you know, if the flu jab was really bad for you, I don't think this one's going to be very good. So they're like, okay, we won't do that then. Because it's just like a steroid injection. And it doesn't get rid of it. It's meant to just help it. And I don't want something to help. I want something to solve it, you know. I already help myself. So the Vaseline trick I tried is where you get a bit on your fingers and you put it all the way in a circle on the inside of your nostril so that all the hairs in your nose are covered in Vaseline, right? And what it does is every time pollen comes in contact, or the dust mites, whatever, they're trapped on this Vaseline. So the negative of this is that you do have to do it more than once a day. So you got to rinse it off and stuff like that. So if you're wearing makeup, I'm sorry, best not to. Just wear a bit of moisturiser. It's the summer anyway. Who wears a ton of makeup in the summer? Not many of us, because it fucking annoys us. I don't know about anybody else. Might just be me. I'm speaking on behalf of more than one of us, when really I should be just speaking on behalf of me. But yeah, put Vaseline on, get a bit on your finger as well, and wipe over your tears, your tear ducts on the corner of your eyes, on the inside. So not obviously on your actual eyeball, but just over the top, just near where your tear ducts would be. Because when the pollen and things that irritate you and you have a reaction to go in your eyes, it's actually because it's irritating your tear duct. Obviously your eyelashes are there to protect your eyes, so also put the Vaseline on the end of your eyelashes, just because it helps catch the pollen as well. But again, you do need to wash it off throughout the day. I know it's high maintenance, but it works. I've done it so many times. When I remember in the morning to do it, it's very rare, but when I remember to do it, it works every single time. The only thing that I can't quite say is put Vaseline all over your hands and stuff and your neck, just because that wouldn't feel nice. You would notice it. You'd probably shine like a sweaty ball bag. But I don't know why that came to mind, but I imagine they would be shiny. Sorry. So my little conspiracy theory for hay fever is that actually it's massively related to pollution, especially since more and more people are getting it. When you go to other countries, there's no hay fever, but then my neighbour told me that in Australia hay fever is really bad, in parts, because she gets hay fever too, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it only the UK and Australia that get insane hay fever? It just doesn't make sense to me. If you know anybody who has some amazing hay fever treatments and how to solve it, please let me know. But I don't know what to use to solve it, apart from the Vaseline trick. The lips, the nose and the eyes. That's the only thing that helps. Obviously my ears still get irritated, my skin still gets irritated, but if I minimalise the early symptoms, it tends to minimalise the rest, because the back of my throat gets so fucking itchy, and at night time I get the most intense hay fever ever. I rub my eyes in my sleep, I scratch my skin till it bleeds. It's awful. Why was I born with so many fucking random issues? It's just so annoying. And I think it's to do with the pollution, because obviously the more pollution in the air, I believe it obviously could carry all of these chemicals, could carry more things, things like pollen and stuff. And I just think it's really strange, if so many of our plants around the world, or just around where I live, are using what's the word? I can't think of the right word, but when they add things to it that's not natural, and add sort of soils and things that help the plant grow abnormally quickly, stuff like that, I think could contribute, because then the bees would just pass it on to other flowers, and it's well, that must be something relevant, because why would the same bees from every year be making different pollen? It just doesn't make sense. It must be to do with either pollution or what they're putting in the plants. That's just my speculation. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not wrong very often, though. I'm just saying. Oh my god, I think I actually forgot today's quote of the day. So, it's not really a quote, just something to think about. All it takes is being in the wrong crowd as a teenager, and your whole life can be taken away from you purely by influence. And I just feel like this is something good that you should share with people amongst you, that, being with the wrong people can really bring you down and bring out the worst in you and open doors that never needed to be opened, like lessons that never needed to be learned, you know? Because you will get a bunch of trauma from life. You could have things on your record for life. And I feel like we need to be like consciously aware of right and wrong, instead of being around wrong for so long you think it's right. I was around a bunch of wrong people when I was younger, and I just felt like so many things become normal, and it wasn't. Luckily, I stayed with like the same group of lads, but it was more like, you know, the girls I was friends with, and I hung around with a lot of older people when I was a kid, which now I think about it, it's so fucking weird. Like, I was 14 years old. Why are a bunch of 18 to 20-year-olds hanging around with me? You absolute fucking nonsense. Ugh. Bare noncy. I'm just saying. Very weird. Whether or not you were just being my friend, it's just fucking strange, don't you think? Maybe when you get to like 15, 16, there's only like a 4 to 5 year age gap. But yeah, I was 14 years old. I'm a fucking child. I've barely even hit puberty at this point. It's just fucking strange. Anyway, I hope you have the best week. I'm actually going to leave the confession section till next week, just because I'm trying to enjoy my bank holiday Monday, my last day off before I've got to work again. And I think you should all be enjoying your life as much as you can. Make sure you unfollow people that make you feel insecure on social media. Today, I think you should definitely unfollow the bitch you've been stalking and maybe delete that fake account that you've been using. You know. I know you know. We all know. We all have done it at some point. I actually deleted my fake account about a year or so ago. Just because I was a bit self-aware of my obsessions with stalking people. So I had to get rid of it. I thought, well, I'm never going to get out of this unless I just get rid of it now. Because there's a few times I thought about it, but then I needed it. So now that I've got rid of it, I can't ever need it. And starting a fake account is not easy if you want people to accept your follow. Like, it's got to be an account that's been there for at least like a year. You know? Got to look like a real person. Fucking hell. But yeah, get rid of your fake account. Set those boundaries, and don't let people be mean to you. Tell people what you want, and if they won't give it to you, tell them, well, I'll go. Like, I'll make changes in my life for myself then. Like, your happiness matters. But I'm so sorry for keeping this episode a bit short. I had other plans today. I had plans to have guests on the show, and I've got a great guest. So many people going to want to listen to. She's so inspiring. I'm very excited to have her on the show. When I have guests on the show, we're going to be getting to know these people, understanding how they've become so independent in their life and things they've achieved and things they've learned and their opinions. And I just feel like having more normal, real people who, you know, we should normalise realistic idols instead of constantly, not like, obviously some celebrities are people that you should look up to, but until you have been in their seat and watch them grow, watch them share their journey, you don't have to tell people all your secrets. No way. You don't want to give someone away all your secrets as to why you're successful, but I think sharing your journey and giving people an idea of what other options there are out there and ways to be successful and how you can try out different things and all that stuff. I just think it's really important to share like normal people who have become successful and doing it by themselves, even if they've had a little help or not had help. Like, my partner is very successful. I think from where I've come from, I'm very successful. And these people that I'm going to bringing on the pod, they are all so successful in their own way. And I'm very, very excited to share guests on my show now. And also, are you guys not a bit bored of me talking to myself? I don't know. You haven't told me yet. So tell me, let me know. Make sure you get your confessions, questions, and anything you'd like advice on @podcast.j. Make sure you hit and subscribe when you listen to an episode. And please, please, please share this episode this week. I want to see how many guests I can line up and get recording. Because the more I record, the more I can put out. I want to know what people prefer. I want to know whether people prefer me to talk to myself, well, talk to you guys, but like on my own, like it's a solo episode, or have guests on. So you let me know. I love you guys so, so much. Have a great week. I hope you get a bit of sunshine. It does look like it's getting a bit warmer, doesn't it? Life's about to get very exciting because it is summer. Love you all. See you later.